What's up, YouTube? Hey, it's Dale again. Just wanted to bring you another quick update on the Slacker bus and what's going on with it. This last couple of weeks, I've done some projects. Unfortunately, I have a lot of projects that are kind of halfway finished, so in the next week or so, I'll try to complete some of those. As usual, I'll start outside here, kind of let you know what's going on with the bus and here at the house. So let me get the camera turned around and we'll get started. All right, first thing you'll notice out here on the side of the bus, I do actually have this table down. When I installed this past summer up in New York, we installed it because we wanted to get the nuts and bolts and things done before we actually put the wood up on the inside. So I had to get this mounted. This table I had this piece of wood that I had made out of some scrap 2x4s. It's actually not in too bad a shape. Unfortunately, I didn't put any type of a finish on it. So what I'm thinking about doing is actually remaking another table. I'll probably add 6 inches to a foot of length on it just because I can. Then I'll get that remade, get it finished, put some kind of a finish on it so that it weathers a little bit better on the outside. And then also, you know, I've got the light that we put in that's working really well, you know, and then I actually do have a USB and a 12-volt plug out here on the outside of the bus. I've noticed here lately, and I need to recheck it again, but the 12-volt plug down here doesn't seem to have any power. Now, you would say, well, okay, you just got to check the wires. The bad thing is the way these are installed, I can't really do that because these plugs they're actually a cylinder shape all the way through, and then there's a nut that goes on the back of it and tightens down. Well, unfortunately, as you can see, with walls in and cabinets in, there's no actual way to get to that. So that's going to be something that I'll have to address at some point down the future. These aren't, you know, they're here so that people can use them if they need to be used. So they're not that important. But at some point I will get that figured out, figure out what I have to do. I may have to actually cut like a square out and then rewire the things and patch the hole that's there. So we'll see. Also, you can probably hear some of the chickens are out this morning making a racket, and so they're keeping me company. If we go out here on the front of the bus, one of the things that I have yet to do that I've been meaning to do is on the outside, my 4 lights up here. I think that I know that they're, when it rains and you're driving and you get a real like pounding rain, that those actually have a little leak because I get some water on the inside. So at some point I'll get up there, put a bead of caulk around all 4 of them, get that finished up. Hopefully that'll solve that problem. And that's pretty much it on the outside of the bus. Over here in my shop area, I know in the last video it was fairly clean, and right now it's getting full again. These things happen. It seems like every time I get rid of something, somebody else gives me something, or I find something to add to it. As I said, I have a son that's actually moving to North Carolina here in a few months. So he's been giving me some different stuff that he didn't want to take with him. You know, I'll have to sort through all of this, figure out what I can use, what I can't use. Also, this past weekend, or yesterday in fact, I went to a yard sale over at my younger brother's house in St. Pete, and I found this drill press for 25 bucks. So I decided to buy it because a drill press is something that's, you know, it's a good to have. The only thing it does not have would be the chuck for it, and but those are, you know, easily accessible. You just have to make sure you get the right one. Other than that, like I said, it's all just got to be put away. I'm thinking about at some point, because this is all open in the front, of actually putting in some kind of a wall across here about the first 8 feet, just to shelter some of this stuff from the rains and stuff that we get here in Florida. You know, everybody thinks that Florida's sunshine and beach all the time. Well, that's just false advertising, because it rains quite a bit here during the summer, and it does blow in through here. So I'll take care of that. These are some chairs I'm working on for the inside of the house that I gotta sand down a little bit and refinish. And so then let's get back over here to the bus. We'll walk up inside and show you what's kind of going on. I know in the last video I had already pretty much got the countertop installed, and hopefully at some point I'll do a whole video on that. We'll start off right here. I don't know how well this will pick up. You can see the fan is kind of hanging right here, and the reason it's hanging is because this type of fan actually has to be grounded to the bus in order for it to run. And there is, up behind this board, is a metal plate that I could run a long screw into to ground it. Unfortunately, these wires aren't long enough, so I'll be cutting those wires, splicing in a 3 or 4 inch, section of wire so that it'll reach, and get that all done. Get the other board put back up. Then, like I said, come around here to the counter. Counter's in, permanently installed. On the counter, you'll see I was originally going to go with an electric hot water heater, but after looking on Amazon and some other places, I just couldn't find one that I really thought was going to be suitable for what I wanted to do. So I'm going back with a propane water heater. There again, this is a water heater I got off of Amazon. It had 4.5 star ratings on it. People in their comments really said this was a good unit, so I'm going to give it a try and see what happens. It does come with pretty much every fitting that you'd ever need, and so I'll get that mounted, and it'll go underneath the cabinet here somewhere. I'll get that all figured out. I also, underneath here, have to finish getting all the plumbing and stuff hooked up for the faucet. You might notice this is a new addition to the Slacker bus. It's a cutting board that fits into the sink, and it's still got a little bit of work I got to do. I got to sand it, stain it, put some kind of a finish on it. This was actually made for me by my younger brother, who recently bought a CNC router and can do, lettering, whatever you might want. So at some point in the future, I may show him in a video, because he's trying to get a small woodworking business started, and he may be able to help some of you out on some smaller projects, or we'll see. Also, the stove is in. I think I showed everybody this last time, but it's on right now. It's technically, this is Florida. Probably this afternoon it'll be into the 80s, but right now it's in the mid 60s, so it is a little, or excuse me, it's actually in the mid 50s. And so right now, if I need a little heat, I just use the stove. In the back there again, I think some of you saw that I was building this composting toilet, and got it pretty much done. This is pretty much where I think I'm going to wind up having this sit. And then on this wall here, let me back up. I bought one of these things. It's actually just, things that you can put poles and brooms, and it'll hold it in place. I'll put it along the wall there. Those two poles for my outdoor canopy will be there, and a broom, and anything else that I might need to put in that area. Also, like I said, right here is where the refrigerator will wind up. This plug right here was originally down here in the middle of the wall when I was going to do a dinette. I've went away from that idea. I'm putting in a couch. So that plug will probably come out, or I'll extend it to the other side over here on this wall somewhere and have a plug there just to have power, 110 power up here in the front of the bus if I ever need it. Right now, again, the couch area, the cushions are out, and I actually have them off in an upholstery shop being covered. It's probably going to take them several weeks to a month to get that done, because there again, I'm not first in line. They got 3 or 4 projects to go ahead of me, but at some point before I leave this summer, they'll be in, and then that'll be the couch and the bed. Also, I've got some curtains that I am going to be installing on this side, and I've got to go here to Lowe's in a little bit to get some hardware to be able to mount those. Instead of a curtain rod, I'll be just buying a 8-foot length of electrical conduit. I'll paint it and then mount it and use it as one continuous curtain rod. There again, underneath the stove, this area here, I'll be at some point putting in some kind of a shelf under there for storage, and then I'll be making 2 doors that will go, and cover that up, and then they'll probably be the same wood as this. I actually need to figure out what I want to do with these cabinet fronts. So these are cabinets from Lowe's that you can buy at any, big box supply store like that. And I'll be staining them and putting some type of a finish on those. I'll probably, when I figure that out, I'll probably stain this cutting board the same color, and then I'll finish the cutting board with some type of food grade oil, whether it's mineral oil or whatever. I'll check probably with my younger brother again, because he is making cutting boards, and he knows what to use on it, so I'll be checking with him. Anyway, I think that's about it. I did get some of the little bit, not much, of the plumbing in through the wall. The water will come in through here. There'll be a pipe that goes under the bed, and then obviously I'll go probably from a iron pipe like this to some sort of either PVC or the PEX lines. Get those all run. Get the pump, the accumulator, and the filter. Try to get it all hooked in, and then that's pretty much going to be it if I ever get everything back. Like I say, from the upholstery shop and everything else, the only thing that'll be left to do would be this summer when I go back up to New York. I'll get Mike to help me install my solar panels and figure out exactly how much battery and that type of thing that I'm needing, and get that done hopefully. And then the bus will pretty much be done. I do have some little bit of trim work to do, some touch-up paint, up here in the front. It's just, you bring a long board in or bang it, it's just stuff that's got to be touched up. This cup holder here will probably come out, and I'll make another one, and I'll probably move that, because the problem with this is that it's only on here with a couple of bolts, and as you drive down the road, it really is shaky because there's nothing really to support it underneath. There again, I'll get that all figured out. I still have quite a bit of area right here in the front where I took the heaters out, and at some point I do want to get a diesel heater. I'm thinking about probably building some type of box in this area to mount it into, and then have it. And one of the things I didn't really think about is when I took the heater out, you basically no longer have any type of defroster for your windshield. So if I mount the diesel heater here, I know you can buy a splitter, and I may have it come over so that it would blow hot air. I don't know whether that's actually going to work out, because I'm not sure whether you can actually run a diesel heater at the same time you're moving. I'll be doing some research, but anyway, I'll figure out some type of defroster for this. Also, over here in the dash, a lot of the lights in the dash are out. I bought some replacement bulbs. I'm not sure if they're the right ones. There again, at some point, I'll pull the dash out and see if these are going to work that I bought. And if not, I'll get what I need to do, because there again, I'm not going to be doing a lot of night driving, but it's also at night nice to be able to see how much, speed you got going, your oil pressure and all that good stuff. So that's another project for another day. And once again, we just kind of pan around, let everybody see where it's at. And anybody has any questions or comments, just leave them below. There again, if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, as we like to say. And hopefully within the next, by the end of the month, I'll try to put out another one. I'll try to have a lot of this partially completed stuff done and keep moving. Like I say, keep them projects moving, stay safe, and have fun out there. Get her done. See y'all on the next one. Bye.